This is court. It's court time. This isn't Judge Judy, I'll tell you that much, or Judge Mathis.
Good evening. This is the time set for the 11 p.m. calendar on January 21st, 2025. The court's orders for the taking of DNA and fingerprints that were given on the first calendar of this month shall apply to all matters on this calendar. I'll call you each one at a time to the podium, and I'll provide a second name to sit in the chair right outside of this room. If we can have Mr. Mosquita to the podium and Mr. Curley to the chair.
Tree hugger, night court, calaveras.
Good evening, sir. Could I get your name and date of birth?
Yes, Edward James Mosquita Jr., January 8th, 1997.
Thank you, sir. And it does look like we're here on a new Superior Court case.
Yes.
It does include one count of discharging a firearm, Class 3 felony, one count of possession of a weapon by a prohibited person, a Class 4 felony, 7 counts of endangerment, a Class 6 felony.
He's going to prison.
1 count of discharging a firearm in city limits, a Class 6 felony.
Oh, he's definitely going to prison.
And 1 count of criminal damage, a Class 6 felony. Probable cause has been found, and I am going to appoint an attorney to represent you. And I'm going to give you some hearings in the downtown Superior Courthouse. You're going to have a status conference on January 27th at 8:30 a.m. and a preliminary hearing on January 30th at 8:30 a.m. In this case, you're going to have a secured appearance bond of $50,000. If you post that bond, you'll be released to pretrial services, and they'll equip you with electronic monitoring before you're released. You'll also have written conditions of release, and that will include not returning to the scene of the crime, no contact with any alleged victims, witnesses, or complainants. And if an order of protection or an order of against harassment is issued, you must comply with the terms of that as well. Did you have any questions, sir? Okay, just up to your left, they'll give you your paperwork. Thank you.
Nice.
Mr. Curley to the podium.
This is Maricopa
Mr.
County,
Hollis to the chair.
Arizona. And this is real. This is not pre-recorded. This is actually happening in real time. So there's actually, she's walking up.
Good evening. Could I get your name and date of birth?
My name is Mardell Curley, 3/31/1994, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir. And it does look like we're here on a new Superior Court case. And it does include 1 count of aggravated assault with temporary disfigurement, a Class 4 felony. Probable cause has been found, and I'm going to appoint an attorney to represent you.
That's a fool.
I'm going to give you some hearings in the Superior Court. And that's going to be a status conference on January 27th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing on January 30th at 8:30.
Excuse me, sir.
In this case, you have a secured appearance bond of $35,000. That does mean you can use a bail bonding company. If you do post that bond, you'll have written conditions of release. It does include not returning to the scene of the crime, no contact with any alleged victims, witnesses, or complainants. And if an order against harassment is issued, you must comply with the terms of that as well. Did you have any questions?
So I'm going to be locked up?
You have a secured appearance bond of $35,000, so if you don't post that, then you'll remain in custody until at least your next hearing on January 27th. Because it is a secured appearance bond, you can use a bail bonding company, and they're typically about 10% plus collateral, but you would have to contact a bail bonding company and sign a contract with them to have that posted.
Hello, Casey.
Anything else, sir? Okay, just up to your left, they'll give you your paperwork.
Hey,
Mr.
man.
Hollis to the podium.
I thought that was a woman.
Mr. Muhammad to the chair.
I need to go get my eyes checked, or he needs to cut his hair, one or the other. My bad, sir.
Good morning, or excuse me.
Damn,
Good
this
evening.
was
Can I
tall.
get your name and date of birth?
We can't even see his face.
1991.
And your name?
Hell?
Quentin in the house.
Thank you, sir. And it does look like we have
Who's
two
a
cases on the
Sasquatch?
calendar here this evening. The first one is a new Superior Court case, and it does include 1 count of theft means of transportation, a Class 3 felony, 1 count of theft control of property, a Class 1 misdemeanor, and 1 count of knowingly displaying a false license plate, a Class 2 misdemeanor. Probable cause has been found, and I'm going to appoint an attorney to represent you. I'm going to give you some hearings in the downtown Superior Courthouse, with the first one being a status conference on January 27th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing on January 30th at 8:30. You have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $20,000. If you post that bond, you have written conditions of release, and it does include no contact with any alleged victims, witnesses, or complainant, and it looks like you're also on probation, so you would need to contact your probation officer within 24 hours of release. The second case on the calendar is your probation case. So when you were picked up for these new charges, that's a Term 1 violation. So I'm going to appoint an attorney in that case as well and give you a probation revocation hearing on January 28th at 8:30. In that case, you have a secured appearance bond of $100. And again, if you do post bond, you need to reach out to your probation officer within 24 hours. So you do have 3 hearings coming up between the 2 cases. The dates, times, and locations will be listed in your paperwork. Did you have any questions?
I do. I got a lot of questions.
So this case is not the case where I request for speedy trial, is it?
Correct. This is not the time and place to do that. You will meet with your attorney on January 27th, and you will have an opportunity to speak to the attorney at that time.
No other questions.
Okay, thank you, sir. If you'll step to your left, they'll give you your paperwork.
Damn, who is this dude?
Mr. Muhammad
Man,
to the
that fool's
podium and
huge.
Mr. Williams to the chair.
Woo. Hey, what were his charges? I was so distracted by how big he was. I wasn't. Damn, he came strolling in hard than the mother.
Could I get your name and date of birth?
Ali Muhammad, 03/15/2004.
Thank you, sir. And it does look like we have 3 cases on the calendar. The first one is a direct complaint that was filed, and it has 2 offense dates, December 8th of 2023 and November 6th of 2023. And it includes 2 counts of burglary in the 3rd degree, a Class 4 felony, 3 counts of theft of credit cards, a Class 5 felony, and 3 counts of fraudulent use of credit cards, a Class 6 felony. I'm going to appoint an attorney to represent you and give you some hearings. You have a status conference on January 27th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing on January 30th at 8:30. I am affirming the secured appearance bond in this case of $7,500. Looks like you're also on probation in 2 cases, and they've alleged you violated term 1 of your probation. I'm going to appoint counsel in that case as well, and you're going to have a probation revocation hearing, and it applies to both probation cases. That's on January 28th at 8:30. And in those 2 cases, you have a secured appearance bond of $500 in one and $250 in the other. So between your 3 cases, you have a secured appearance bond of $8,250. You can use a bail bonding company to post that bond. If you do post it, you'll have written conditions of release listed in each case, and it does include contacting your probation officer within 72 hours. Between the 3 cases, you have 3 hearings coming up pretty soon. Dates, times, locations will all be listed in your paperwork. Did you have any questions?
Yeah, are all 3 cases from December 2023?
No. So the probation violation warrants issued, let's take a look. One issued on January 13th, 2025. And the second one issued the same date. So the direct complaint is for charges dating back to 2023, but the probation violation warrants were just issued this month.
What's that for?
They've alleged you violated term 1, and they've listed multiple crimes that they allege that you have committed since you've been on probation. And so that's what they're alleging against you in both of your probation cases. It looks like it does relate back to some of the crimes that you committed on that direct complaint. So anytime you're on probation and you're allegedly committed a new crime, that's a violation of your probation. And so because of this direct complaint, they're saying that's a violation of each of your probation cases.
But isn't it only a violation only if they charge me with it?
Only if what?
They charge me with it.
So would they have charged you with it? They filed the direct complaint. The county has moved forward with charging you with those.
But if they dismiss it, then they also dismiss the violation too.
If it ultimately gets dismissed, then your probation judge would have to make a decision on how to move forward with that. But as of right now, you do have formal charges for those cases in 2023. That's the direct complaint that was I was referencing, and that the judge set a $7,500 bond on that. That's because official charges have been brought against you for those.
And there's probable cause?
The judge who issued the direct complaint found probable cause. I don't have any facts surrounding the situation because another judge already heard the information and decided that there was enough to move forward with that. So I don't know what the facts are. I just know what has been listed as charges in your direct complaint. Now, you haven't been found guilty, and you're entitled to a trial on that, which is why I'm appointing an attorney to represent you in that case. So you're just at the beginning stages of the formal charges being filed.
So is it like a refile, or is it just like?
Have you been previously charged with this, or were you just arrested and then released?
My PO said this is from charges that you've been arrested for, and then they dismissed it and they refiled it. That's what he told me. So
it doesn't indicate to me that it's a refile. However, what could have happened is if you were arrested on it and they didn't file within 48 hours, they would have released you from custody without posting bond, and then they filed it after you were already released from custody. So the initial arrest was just the initial allegations from the police, and the state has 48 hours from that time to file if we're going to keep you in custody on a bond. So they may not have done that within 48 hours, meaning they released you, but then sometime after that, which I can give you the date when they actually filed the direct complaint. Let's take a look when that took place. The direct complaint wasn't actually filed until October 21st, 2024 is when the direct complaint was filed by the state.
And when did they approve it?
That's the date it got filed, and the judge issued, let's see, it was filed 10/21, and the warrant issued the same day. So the judge, it was filed, and the warrant was issued the same day with the $7,500 bond. October of 2024, yes.
So had a warrant since then?
Yes.
I didn't even know that.
Jessica, thank you for the follow.
Yeah, but it does look like it's been out there since October 21st, 2024. There's been a valid warrant for this.
And I can, I'm able to bail out?
Yes, you can bail out. Your total
wow.
bond is $8,250.
Even with the probation,
live,
I can bail out?
Correct, yes.
All right.
Okay. If you'll set to your left, they'll give you your paperwork. Thank you, sir.
So this is live. This is Maricopa County in
Mr.
Arizona.
Williams to the podium and Mr. Watkins to the chair.
This is night court. Yeah, he does have a lot of charges, right, Rodney? And he had a lot of questions. Hey, what happened
Good
to that
evening.
fool's
Can I get
pants?
your name and date of birth?
Frederick Williams, date of birth 5/166.
Thank you, sir. And it does look like you're here on a probation violation warrant. They've alleged you violated terms 3, 5, and 15 of your probation. I am going to appoint an attorney to represent you and set a probation revocation hearing on January 28th at 8:30. I'm affirming the secured appearance bond of $5,000 in this case. If you post that bond, you have written conditions of release. It does include contacting your probation officer within 24 hours. Your paperwork will include the date, time, and location of that hearing. Make sure you attend to avoid any failure to appear warrants and forfeiture of any bond you may have posted. Did you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay, if you'll
What
step
up,
to your left,
Jose?
they'll give you paperwork.
We in court.
Mr. Watkins to the podium and Miss Yancey to the chair.
So this is Arizona. They have court every day of the week, 365, rain or shine, holidays and all, birthdays. You got a birthday,
Can I
you
get
go
your
to
name and
court.
date of birth?
Christopher Frank Watkins, November 4th, 1992.
Thank you, sir. And it does look like I have you here on a grand jury warrant. It looks like it's for an offense date of March 24th, 2024, and it includes one count of misconduct involving a weapon, a Class 4 felony.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to appoint an attorney to represent you and
If you already have an attorney?
Yeah, so I think you have another case, right? Because you were seen back in November.
I've been here since November,
Yeah.
so yeah, I already have an
It
attorney.
may or may not be the same attorney, but I have to appoint one in this case as well. And once they see that you have the other case, they may just make it the same attorney at the Maricopa County Public Defender's Office.
Okay.
You'll have an arraignment hearing on these charges on January 29th at 8:30. I am affirming the bond in the grand jury warrant. In this case, it's a cash-only appearance bond of $3,000.
Okay.
If you do post that bond, you have written conditions of release. Did you have any questions?
No?
Okay, if you'll step to your left, they'll give you your paperwork there.
Hey, so
Ms.
crime.
Yancey to the podium.
There's crime all the
Mr.
time, so
Estrada to the chair.
they gotta be court. They gotta keep on cycling these people through. Let me see, since
Good evening,
November.
ma'am. Could I get your name and date of birth?
Tasha Yancey, 11-182.
Thank you, ma'am. And it does look like we have two cases on the calendar.
Drunk driver.
First
She's a
one
drunk
comes in
driver.
with the new Superior Court
Drunk
case.
driver DUI.
And it
or,
includes one count of dangerous drug possession, a Class
Ooh.
4 felony, one count of narcotic drug possession, a Class 4 felony, and one count of drug paraphernalia possession, a Class 6 felony. For purposes of this hearing only, I am not finding probable cause as to the dangerous drug charge. That does not mean that the charge is dismissed. The state may do testing on the substance and move forward with it.
May?
I am finding probable cause on the other two charges and appointing an attorney to represent you. You're going to have a status conference on January 27th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing on January 30th at 8:30. In this case, you have a secured appearance bond of $250. You also have a probation violation warrant, and that alleges you violated terms 3, 4, 5, 7, and 14 of your probation. I'm going to appoint an attorney in that case as well and set a probation revocation hearing. That's on January 28th at 8:30. In that case, you have a bond of $1,250. So between the two cases, it's a secured appearance bond of $1,500. If you post that bond, you'll have written conditions of release. It does include contacting your probation officer within 72 hours. If You've got 3 hearings coming up between the 2 cases. Dates, times, locations will be listed in your paperwork. Did you have any questions?
No, Your Honor.
If you'll step to your left, they'll give you your paperwork. Thank you, ma'am.
They're live on Microsoft
Mr.
Teams.
Estrada to the podium and Mr. Mendoza to the chair.
And welcome, everybody. This is Maricopa County, and this is live. This is night court.
Good evening. Could I get your name and date of birth?
Renzo Estrada, 8980.
Thank you, sir. And it does look like we have 2 cases on the calendar. The first one is a new Superior Court case, and it includes 1 count of narcotic drugs for transportation and or sale, Class 2 felony, and 1 count of narcotic drug possession for use, a Class 4 felony.
Welcome,
Probable
Sauce.
cause has been found, and I'm going to appoint an attorney to represent you. You'll have a status conference on January 27th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing on January 30th at 8:30.
Welcome,
You have a
Lisa.
secured appearance bond in this case in the amount of $500. We have a second case on the calendar, and it looks like you have a failure to appear warrant that was issued for you. I'm going to affirm the attorney that was previously appointed to represent you, and I'm going to set a non-witness violation hearing on January 28th at 8:30 in that case. You have a secured appearance bond in that case as well of $500. So it's a total of $1,000 between the 2 cases. If you post that bond, you have written conditions of release, including contacting your probation officer within 72 hours. Did you have any questions?
No.
Okay, if you'll step to your left, they'll give you your paperwork.
Next.
Mr. Mendoza to the podium and Ms. Jones to the chair.
Brocha. Gracias. A ti. What did this guy do?
Good evening. Could I get your name and date of birth?
Matthew Mendoza, 2/23/1991.
Thank you, sir. And it does look like you have 3 cases on the calendar. The 2 are probation violation warrants with some allegations that you violated terms 1, 4, 7, 13, 14, and 15.
All of them.
I'm going to appoint counsel in both cases and set a probation revocation hearing on January 28th at 8:30. That applies to both of your probation cases.
Thank you for the share.
In each of your probation cases, you have a secured appearance bond. In your first case, it's $250. In the second case, it's $500. But you have a third case on the calendar as well, and that's a
Third
West
case.
McDowell Justice Court warrant that was issued for you, and it relates to driving on a suspended license and open liquor container in a vehicle. And it looks like those are some offensive dates from a couple years ago.
Sipping
I'm
and
going to
tipping.
appoint counsel in that case as well and set an arraignment hearing in the West McDowell Justice Court on January 24th at 8:30. In that case, you have a secured appearance bond of $50. So that means between the 3 cases, it's a total secured appearance bond of $800. If you do post that, you'll have written conditions of release you need to comply with, and that will include contacting your probation officer within 72 hours. Your paperwork will include the dates, times, and locations for these hearings, and keep in mind that the
Amanda, thank you
most
for the
recent
follow.
one with the traffic charges, that is
Sorry,
not in
thank you for
the
the follow.
Superior Court, it's at the West McDowell Justice Court.
It's a different courthouse?
Yeah.
Okay,
So
that's
just
what I was confused with.
the address will be on your paperwork. So just make sure when you're going to the hearings, you know which courthouse you're
which,
going to. I've included the phone number for the West McDowell Justice Court as well.
Okay.
Did you have any questions?
On my secured bond, if I pay that all cash right now, will I get that back when I go to court?
So as long as you don't fail to appear at any hearings,
Yeah,
then
as
it
long as
wouldn't be forfeited. If you fail to appear, then you could have a bond forfeiture hearing and you potentially would not get it back.
But there's another bond, where you don't get your money back. That's called something else, right?
I mean, there's
Secured bond, you said, mine, Joy?
this is a secured
say.
bond. I mean, if you owe in family law cases, that's cash and you don't get those back. If you owe fines and fees to a justice court, they typically don't give those back.
Okay.
It looks like all of yours are unrelated to fines and fees, so as long as you attend, you should get those back. You're risking those bonds if you fail to appear at the hearing.
Oh, okay. I understand that fully. Thank you.
Anything else?
No, I think that's it.
Okay, if you'll step to your left, they'll hand you that
All
paperwork.
right, thank you.
Thank you.
I'm surprised you
Ms. Jones to the
ran out of
podium.
questions.
And Ms. Osley to the chair.
So this is, I don't stream on Twitch, but I do stream it on YouTube. And it's at CollectCallFrom. If you look right here, that's where you could find me. Boop. And if you're looking at me on YouTube, you're just looking at me pointing in the air. But if you're on TikTok, there
Good
is
evening. Could I get your name and date of birth?
Joyce Jones, 111356.
Thank you, ma'am. And it does look like we're here on a direct complaint that was filed for an offense date of October 26, 2022, and it involves 1 count of narcotic drug possession, a Class 4 felony. I'm going to appoint an attorney to represent you and give you some hearings. You'll have a status conference January 27th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing on January 30th at 8:30. I'm affirming the secured appearance bond of $500 in this case. If you post that bond, you'll have written conditions of release, and you need to ensure you attend those hearings to avoid any failure to appear warrants and forfeiture of that bond. Did you have any questions?
Oh.
Okay, just up to your left, they'll give you that paperwork.
This is
Ms. Osley to the podium and Mr. Coleman to the chair.
initial appearance in Maricopa County, Arizona, night court. Hey, they move fast. She's not moving that fast because the other judge doesn't let me talk. This one,
Can I get your name and date
she's
of birth?
okay.
Kylie Osley, 11/10/93.
Is that
Thank
Cruella
you,
the
ma'am. It does
Divio?
look like we have two cases on the calendar here. The first one is a new Superior Court case, and it includes one count of aggravated taking ID of another, a Class 3 felony, one count of dangerous drug possession, a Class 4 felony, one count of narcotic drug possession, a Class 4 felony, and one count of obstruction, refusal to provide a true name, a Class 2 misdemeanor. Probable cause has been found, and I'm going to appoint an attorney to represent you.
This
You're going
is
to have a
live.
status conference on January 27th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing on January 30th at 8:30. In this case, you have a secured appearance bond of $250. You're also here on a probation violation warrant. They've alleged you violated terms 3 and 5 of your probation. I'm going to appoint an attorney in that case as well, and you'll have a probation revocation hearing on January 28th at 8:30. You have a secured appearance bond of $250 in this case as well, so it's a total of $500. If you do post that bond, you have written conditions of release to include contacting your probation officer within 72 hours. Dates, times, and locations of those hearings will be included in your paperwork. Did you have any questions?
No.
Okay, just up to your left, they'll give you that paperwork, ma'am.
TikTok does. Where are the
Mr.
puppies at?
Coleman to the podium and Ms. Trevino Flores to the chair.
Damn. Hey, JSTO, thank you for the follow. Hey, Moon Eyes, that was funny. Wesley, thank you for the follow. Hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Hopefully we'll be getting
Good
20,000
evening.
soon.
Can I get your name and date of birth?
Joseph Coleman, 8/21/1961.
Thank you.
He slapped
It
back.
looks like you're here on a failure to appear bench warrant. Looks like you missed a hearing. I'm going to affirm the attorney that was previously appointed to represent you and give you some new hearings in the downtown Superior Courthouse. We have a status conference January 27th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing on January 30th at 8:30. You have a secured appearance bond in this case of $500. You'll have written conditions of release, and you need to ensure you attend those hearings to avoid any future failure to appear warrants and forfeiture of any bonds you may post. Any questions, sir?
No, ma'am.
Okay, just up to your left, they'll give you your paperwork. Thank you, sir.
I just jumped off the
Ms.
Wi-Fi. Hopefully that
Trevino
fixes it up.
Flores to the podium,
All right. Let's go ahead and reconnect.
and Mr. Gomez Macias to the chair.
I turned off my Wi-Fi. I'm on 5G.
Good evening. Could I get your name and date
Yeah.
of birth?
Angela Trevino Flores, 2205.
Thank you, ma'am. And it looks like you're here on a probation
Thank you, Erin.
violation warrant. They've alleged you violated terms 3 and 5 of your probation. I'm going to appoint an attorney to represent you and set a probation revocation hearing on January 28th at 8:30 a.m. You do have a secured appearance bond of $50. If you post
50?
that bond, you have written conditions of release, including contacting your probation officer within 72 hours. Did you have any questions? Just up to your left, they'll give you your paperwork.
I could bail her out. I got that somewhere in
Mr.
my ashtray.
Gomez Macias to the podium and Mr. Pula to the chair.
Next. No one can even
Sir, do you
do
need an
probation.
interpreter?
No, I understand you.
You can understand?
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
Can I get your name and date of birth?
Mauricio Gomez, 6/9/78.
All right.
Thank you, sir. And it does look like you're here on a warrant coming out of that Apache Junction Municipal Court. And it looks like it is for an offense in 2022. You may have failed to pay some fees relating to liquor in a vehicle, again, back in 2022. Due to the nature of your charges, you're not entitled to court-appointed counsel, but you can hire one at your own expense. I'm going to give you a hearing date in the Apache Junction Municipal Court, and that's on January 24th at 8:30 a.m. And I'm going to release you today on your own recognizance. That's your promise to appear at that hearing. Your paperwork is going to include your written conditions of release, date, time, location, and phone number. Did you have any questions?
I'm fine. Thank
Okay.
you.
If you'll step to your left, they'll give you your paperwork. Thank you, sir.
Hey, anybody that's followed, we highly appreciate you guys. I also got an alternate
We're going to
account.
reprint his paperwork. She's going to print something different on there.
If you guys could follow me on it, and I'm gonna type it
Mr.
up right now.
Pula to the podium and Mr. Midkiff to the chair.
Trying to get to 1,000 subs on my second account, just in case I get banned on this account. We got a backup, and we could keep on running the lives. And there it is, right there on the screen.
Good evening. Could I get your name and date of birth?
No, Kimapula, 122702.
Thank you. And it does look like we're here on a new Superior Court case. It doesn't include one count of burglary in the
Thank
third
you.
degree, a Class 4 felony, and one count of drug paraphernalia possession, a Class 4
South
felony.
Africa?
For purposes of tonight's hearing only, I am not finding probable cause as to the drug paraphernalia, but that does not mean the charge is dismissed. The state still may move forward with that charge. I am going to appoint an attorney to represent you and set a status conference on February 5th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing on February 7th at 8:30. I am releasing you today on your own recognizance. That's your promise to appear at those hearings. You're going to have written conditions of release. It does include not returning to the scene of the crime, no contact with any alleged victims or witnesses. The paperwork will include the date, time, and location of those hearings. Did you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so step to your left. They'll give you your paperwork, sir. Thank you.
Hey, thank you. Nobody's ever called the justice
Mr.
system amazing.
Midship to the podium.
We think it
And
sucks,
Mr.
but
Pelagio to the chair.
hey, J Dog, gracias for that follow. Got it.
Good evening, Your Honor.
Good evening. Could I get your name and date of birth?
Jeffrey Midkiff, 11/23/1982.
Thank you. And it does look like we're here on a new Superior Court case. It does include one count of narcotic drug possession, a Class 4 felony, and one count of dangerous drug possession, a Class 4 felony.
Ooh.
Probable cause has been found, and I am going to appoint an attorney to represent you. You're going to have a status conference on February 5th at 8:30 a.m. and a preliminary hearing on February 7th at 8:30 a.m. I am releasing you today on your own recognizance. That's your promise to appear at those hearings. Your paperwork is going to include your written conditions of release, along with the dates, times, and location for that hearing, or those hearings. Did you have any questions?
What's the status hearing?
So you'll meet with your attorney, and then you'll meet with the initial judge, and they'll go over with setting dates and things as the case will proceed through the court.
It's kind of like a arraignment, kind of?
Yeah, it's similar to that.
All right. Thank you so much. No, ma'am.
Okay, if you'll step to your left, they'll give you that paperwork.
Thank you.
Thank
Third,
you. And
I
officer,
think.
can we clear the courtroom?
Clear the courtroom. For what? What's going on? This is the first time. And if you haven't done so, please do so. Hit the subscribe button. Hit that subscribe button. I'm new here. Is this just some recording? Nah, hell no. This is real. This is live right now. This is night court in Arizona. Ask everybody. Oh, I think it's gonna be that same one from earlier on. That for those of you that were here, that one from the apartment robbery, that burglary, that somebody ended up. I think she's coming back. What part of Arizona? This is gonna be Maricopa County. Oh, we got the.
Good evening, sir. Can I get your name and date of birth?
Francisco Pelagio, March 30th, 1986.
And can I get the state's appearance?
Yes, Your Honor. Good evening. Ashley Stetson on behalf of the state.
Thank you. It looks like we're here on a new Superior Court case.
They do.
And it does include 7 counts of sexual conduct with a minor, Class 2 felony. Probable cause has been found, and I'm going to appoint an attorney to represent you. I'm going to give you some hearing dates in the downtown Superior Courthouse. You're going to have a status conference on January 27th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing on January 30th at 8:30. Next, we're going to discuss your release conditions. Ms. Stetson, would you like to provide the state's recommendations?
Yes, Your Honor. The state is asking for $500,000 cash, given the nature of the allegations. The nature of the allegations are that the suspect has allegedly forced a 16-year-old to engage in sexual intercourse as well as sexual contact. The Form 4 indicates that the suspect is the minor's church choir instructor, Your Honor. There's absolutely concerns regarding the level of trust that was put into this person and the violations that are alleged. The minor did disclose the allegations to a school counselor who did report it to law enforcement, Your Honor. The allegations are that the sexual intercourse occurred in the school parking lot, that the minor had to kick the suspect to get him off of her because she did not want to have intercourse with the suspect. And additionally, Your Honor, the suspect knew it was wrong from the beginning. In the Form 4, it does indicate that he admitted to the minor that he knew what he was doing was wrong, and he asked the minor to not tell anyone. The state does admit that the suspect does not have any criminal history. There was an assault, a misdemeanor assault from maybe 2022 that was dismissed the same day it was filed. Other than that, the state can't find any criminal history. However, that does not mitigate the seriousness of the allegations. The position that the suspect is in, he absolutely has, he is a person of trust, and so for that reason, Your Honor, the state does believe that $500,000 cash is appropriate. Thank you.
Let's make it $1 million.
Thank you, Ms. Stetson. And sir, I did review the statute that does require me to factor 15 different considerations when setting your release conditions. And in this case, due to the seriousness of the allegations as well as the strong weight of the evidence, I am setting a cash-only appearance bond of $200,000. If you do post that bond, you will be released to pretrial services and equipped with electronic monitoring. You will also have written conditions of release, and those conditions will include no contact with any alleged victim, complainant, or witness, and no contact with anyone under the age of 18. Did you have any questions?
What about if I don't have that kind of money?
If you are not able to post the bond, then you will remain in custody.
How much was it again?
It's a $200,000 bond.
$200,000 bond?
Correct.
It's a lot of zeros, buddy.
So all the story that she gave out to you guys, based on what she said against me, I mean, I'm assuming everything that she said is not quite true, because we both decided to do it when I didn't.
So I'm going to
Shut
stop you
your
right
mouth,
there, and the reason
dummy.
is you are not represented by counsel here today, and so anything you say right now is being recorded, and they can use that against you in your trial.
He's done.
For purposes of tonight, I'm not finding you guilty. I'm giving you some hearings and appointing counsel. You are entitled to a trial, and so you will meet with your attorney on January 27th. Now, with that being said, you're welcome to give me some information, but just know that you're not required to do that, and it is being recorded.
Oh, yeah, it
so with
is
that
on
being
TikTok.
said, is there anything else you would like to state?
That's it, Your Honor.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir. Just step to your left. I'll give you your paperwork.
Good luck, amigo. You're about to.
And Ms. Stetson, I appreciate your help this evening. I think that concludes our calendar.
Damn, that's
Your
it.
Honor.
Thank you. And we will now stand in recess until the 5 a.m. calendar.
5 a.m. Man, hey, that was definitely a curveball right there. I was not expecting that. I found it kind of weird that I've never seen them empty out the whole courtroom. Hey, please hit the subscribe button if you haven't done so. Please do so. We're trying to get to that 20,000. And sharing is caring. Whenever we come on, share it with your loved ones, with the people you don't love, your enemies, whoever. Just shoot it to them. They might like it. Let me see. I have found my new TV channel. Hey, man, that brings so much joy to my heart right there. Man, hey, South Africa, that's what's up right there. Oscar, hey, thank you for the follow. Tyler, thank you for the follow. Is this for his protection? Oh yeah, Shannon, that was definitely for his protection. If anybody gets their hands on that guy, it's not gonna be nice. His journey in that system is not gonna be too good if he ends up in general population. Raymond, thank you for the follow. Highly appreciated. It's Ali. Thank you for appreciate the follow. Carol Smith, appreciate the follow. Chan, thank you for the follow. Highly appreciated. I missed some name with a P. My apologies. It was a really long one. Thank you for the follow. Queen Maya 22. Thank you for the badge right there. But yeah, so I try to do these on a daily basis. For these ones in Maricopa County, they do I think about 8 streams a day. So I'm always popping up. I've been doing these for the last days. Let me see. David said you getting on a 5 a.m. court. Nah, that one I won't get on because it'll be 4 o'clock for me. I'll be sleeping, but I'll be back on like around 8 o'clock. I start doing parole board hearings. If you're interested in that, let me see. Do you ever do Tucson, Arizona? Yeah, Tucson. Yeah, we do those. The Tucson ones are at the morning ones. I don't do. I do the evening ones at your time. It's what is it? I think at 7. And 6 o'clock my time. We did that earlier on. Let me see. Mama Hubs writes, I live in Maricopa County. Hey, man. all kinds of wild stuff is happening over there in Maricopa County. Let me see if you ever get a chance with what is South Africa. Okay, I'll check it out. I don't know what to expect now. I'm kind of scared to look it up. But how is everybody doing tonight? Let me see. Mad Mill, thank you for the follow. Mama Hubs, thank you for the follow. Hey, follow, it's free. It doesn't cost you anything. Let me see. J Dog, are you from Cali? Born and raised in Los Angeles. Can you try Merced, California? Do they offer look, if anybody has any live court feeds, if you guys DM me, I'll do my best to try to get in. The only thing, there has to be courts that allow streaming, that don't say no photography and no live streaming. If it's like that, then I can't do it. But if it does, like Maricopa County, then hey, it's free game. Let me see. What time would you be tomorrow? So more in the morning on YouTube. I start at 6 o'clock in the morning. I don't get on TikTok until like maybe about 8 after I drop on my daughter from school. So if you follow me on YouTube, you'll catch the early streams for the parole board hearings from Connecticut and Utah and Iowa. Let me see. Let me see. Steele is asking, do you do Texas? Sometimes I do. I'll do Bexar County with Judge. I forget her name. She's the African lady, and then also Judge Fletcher. And there's another gentleman, older black gentleman, that I also do sometimes here and there. Let me see. Do Virginia. One of the Virginias, they do board of parole hearings, but I still haven't been able to catch one. Do they offer a virtual court in Virginia? Like I said, if you guys know of any streams anywhere, if you guys send them my way, I'll appreciate it, and then I'll do my best, to get it going. I do numerous streams, whether phone calls from prison. If you enjoy calls from prison, check out my profile. I got all kinds of different videos. I got calls from prison. I do video visits from prison, specifically from California, Centinela State Prison. We do the board of parole hearings like in a gang of different states. What times are Maricopa? Let me check right now. I'll tell you what times Maricopa is. Let me just look at my schedule over here, my handy dandy schedule. Okay, so here. So initial appearance calendars are heard 24 hours a day, 365 days a year at 8 a.m., 11 a.m., 2 p.m., 5 p.m., 8 p.m., 11 p.m., 2 a.m., and 5 a.m. But I think they've been skipping. Oh, I gotta go. I just got flagged on man, they restricted my thing. Hey guys, I really appreciate you guys, but I gotta go before they my account. Follow my second account if you can, just in case in the future if I get hit, then I could continue doing it. I still haven't got 1,000 there, but I would highly appreciate it. Hey, and like I said right here, life's like a candle. Once you blow it out, it lights out. And with that, we are out. A rato y buenas noches. I gotta go. I'm out. True. All right, and thank you guys on YouTube. I haven't cut the stream yet, but I'm about to do right now. I really appreciate you guys. And with that being said, I'm out. You guys have a good one. Bam. There we go.